All right.
Yeah. I want to say hello, Atlanta. This is the mic is hot. I tell you now. The mic been cool for 2 months, and we had to fire it right back up again. My main man, Bigtime, called me up and said, hey, look, D, we got to get the mic. We got to fire the mic back up. We got too much out there going on. And the NFL, NBA, and all around in sports. And guess what? The ATL is hot right now. The Falcons are hot right now in the news media. Y'all got to hear it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Man, I got so much stuff right in front of me right here. I'm sure my man Bigtime ready. But let me let y'all know before I get kicked off. In the future, guys, the mic is hot. It's spelled TheMikishot. You can hear us on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, iTunes, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. And you can also email us at themicishot@yahoo.com. Hey, we coming up, Big Time. We coming up. If you can't catch one of those shows, give me a call at 678-900-9840. Let me know you can't find the mic, and hey, I'll send you a personal invite to the Mic is Hot. You follow us on the Mic is Hot, and every time we do a show, it'll alert you, okay? This is not live, but we're going to make it live in about an hour, about 30 minutes after we get out there. My boy, my man, Bigtime, what you say?
Welcome. Love to be on the mic, ladies and gentlemen. Back again on the hot mic in the ATL on the Saturday night.
Bigtime.
I am so fired up, I can't believe it.
I don't believe you.
Been waiting, baby.
I don't think you're as fired up as I am tonight. I don't think you're as fired up as I am tonight, Big Time. These Falcons, man.
You can't believe it.
These Falcons got me, man. They got me a little frustrated. I'm gonna let the music play for a little bit till we get in this thing. Then I'm gonna slide on down. I like that beat in the background. I'm gonna bring it down just a little bit. We're gonna start this thing off. How about that? That cool with you?
Let's do it.
First topic, Big Time. The Falcons, some new news out today with the Atlanta Falcons. I think you shared it too, so I'm gonna let you bust the pipe wide open with it. What's going on with the Atlanta Falcons, Big Time?
Well, if everyone haven't heard the latest news as of today, hot off the press, 24 hours in, the Falcons have just signed Matt Schaub, the backup quarterback for several years, to a 2-year extension.
Oh my God! Not Matt Schaub.
Matt Schaub certainly is back on fold, and the talk has been, looking at all the Facebook posts, that a lot of the fans are not real happy about this move.
I'm not happy, Big Time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have mixed feelings about it.
I'm not happy, Big Time.
And I'm going to definitely say what I feel as we go along tonight.
I'm gonna blow it up too. I'm gonna start off right here. I'm gonna go ahead and cool that music on down a little bit. I love it, but I'm gonna bring it on down. All right now. Let's get that out of here. Big Time. You telling me today, they did this on a Saturday when nobody's there working, really people ain't listening, because on Saturday, if there's not a game, people kind of laid back a little bit. The Atlanta Falcons sneaked in, and they signed Matt Schaub before they signed Julio Jones. You know, I mean, come on, man. Listen, I thought we were going in another direction, man. I thought we were moving in a different direction. I know the boy didn't even hit the field last year. It ain't bad when you can make. How much you make? I think he said make $2 million a year just to hold a clipboard. That's not bad.
I don't know his contract. But I know they're not paying him probably much because they do have a healthy, stable quarterback. But just in case he go down, Matt Schaub is a 8-year, 10-year veteran.
He was there when Michael Vick was there, man. All these quarterbacks coming out of college, man. We got to, at some point in time, we got to start moving forward. We got to move forward, man. I don't like this decision. I'm going to make it clear. I don't like it, Atlanta. I don't like it. And I wish you guys would text me, find me on Twitter. Let me hear your opinion. Big Time, you say you got mixed feelings. What's the mixed feelings, Big Time? I'm going to let you talk a little. I got a cool line on this one right here.
Well, you know, one of the things that I do agree that, you know, you got to take into account that the Atlanta Falcons, they are a team that need and is in the position to win now. Yeah, you got to always look at the future, but this team have quality guys, veteran guys, that has the potential to win the Super Bowl right now. So the moves that they make have to be in that mindset. If you get too many rookies, you go too far back. Go too far ahead, you'll miss what you have now. Now, the Falcons, by and large, ladies and gentlemen, is a young ball club. But the signing of this backup is a move that says we're satisfied with our starting quarterback. He's healthy. He's still in his prime. And we feel like we don't need to put a lot of stock in a future guy because there's too much rebuilding has to go on. And if you go out there and say we're going to sign a backup decent guy, there aren't really many of those guys in the league. So the best guy who know our offense and is already here is Matt Schaub. So I think it's a good move, having said all that. But as I listen to a lot of the reviews on Facebook and Twitter, I do have to say I somewhat agree that this move sort of gives a bad signal to Matt Ryan because he doesn't have any pressure on him. And if you continuously signing older guys, among many others that we're going to talk about tonight,
right,
then you aren't showing the propensity or the belief to the fan that you are moving forward. The Falcons seemingly is stuck in everything they're doing is almost moving back.
Oh my God,
moving back.
These Falcons they killing me, man. They're killing me. Let me say something, man. Let me tell you my part. Let me give you my opinion, my take. I think again, we're gonna get into other stuff later about the coaching staff, but again, this is a safe move. This is a safe move. The Falcons are afraid to take any chances in the quarterback position. There's many quarterbacks in the NFL. They are younger, they're faster, they can throw further, and I would hope that nothing happened to Matt Ryan, that Matt Schaub have to come into the ball game and take over. But I don't understand why our coaching staff would not take a chance or at least wait and see to find out what's in the draft, if that's something available to pick up. And also, I'm looking for them to pick up a quarterback in the draft because at some point in time, you got to start getting ready for that, just in case something does happen. I think Matt Ryan played a few games last year. He didn't impress me. He didn't impress a lot of people. That's why the tweets and Twitters or whatever you get from people saying that they don't like this move. But I don't think it's a good move. I think that they're jumping ahead of the wagon. There's a lot of things they got to do, a lot of players they got to save. They got Julio for number one. They got to make sure they take care of him. I understand they got a little more cap money this year, but I would not go out ahead and say, you know what, let's go ahead and sign Matt Schaub. Well, we know how he played last year, but the guy's a year older, just like Matt Ryan is. But I think they should give him opportunity to at least, try out and be on the team, and let's see what he got. Let's see can another quarterback beat him out. That's what it's all about. If somebody could beat him out, he need to be cut. Why go ahead and sign him now? I mean, what's the hurry?
Yeah, but they don't have the. Let's look at it from this position. They don't have, like most teams. I would venture to say almost all teams don't have a lot of depth at the quarterback position. So when you talking about signing a backup, you're going to almost bring in what already out there. There aren't a lot of backups out there that is quality guys or at a veterans level where they can step in. So then what you do next?
I'm gonna name one.
Sign a rookie. You sign a rookie backup quarterback.
I'm gonna name one quarterback. Listen, a lot of people ain't gonna like what I'm gonna say, but there is a quarterback out there that they can bring as a backup, and there is a quarterback out there they can bring in as a backup, and his name is.
You said there. I don't understand what you said. You said there is a quarterback out there.
There is a quarterback out there.
Who
they can bring as a backup? His name is Colin Kaepernick.
Oh, that's a good one. That's what a lot of people were saying on the
Come on, man.
The wire.
Hey, now, folks, let me say this.
You hit it right on the head. I'm not saying like I agree with it, but there was many people were saying that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think Arthur Blank's afraid to bring him in. A lot of teams are afraid to bring him in because of they're afraid of the controversy. But I think all that controversy stuff is over. As long as he ain't kneeling anymore, I don't think it'll be any problem. And again, once the team start winning, all that crap that was in the past, it's gonna go away. And I believe he's gonna end up on a team that's winning, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen. But
let me interject this. You know, Kavanaugh sued the NFL and won.
Yes.
He won, and so there's a consensus that sort of with I think to the fan base who supported him by and large, and I think most fans did, that whole thing is behind him now. So he should be available to go. But like you said, I think a lot of the owners are still afraid to take a chance on him.
Well, I mean, why would you be afraid? Let me say this. Why would you be afraid? If you sit down with Kaepernick and they sign a contract, well, let's say example, he come into the office. He sit down and talk to Arthur Blank. And Arthur Blank said, you know what? We kind of skeptical of you because we don't want the controversy of you kneeling again during the ceremony. Now, I don't think, I could be wrong, I don't think he's going to kneel anymore. I think he made his point. He made a great point. I don't think there's no reason to kneel anymore. He got paid. And it's time now to play some football. And if he agreed to not to kneel at the ball game, to kneel anymore, why wouldn't you sign him? Why wouldn't you? And that's all teams are concerned about.
Older, but he's older. The man is out of
Matt Schaub's older. Matt Schaub's older than he is.
Yeah, but he was out of game shape. And when you bring him into the Falcons organization, that's many clubs would probably look at and think the same thing. He has to learn that offense. You can't look at a club, D, like, let's say, you know, when you start talking about a young guy, when you start talking about and when I say young, not just fresh out of college, let's say a 2-3 year guy. A lot of the young team is up and coming up. That would be a move to make. When you look at Kavanaugh going into a young squad and say, okay, we signed this guy, for example, to a 2 to 3 year deal. He go in there the first year and then learn the offense. Now he's in it. Now you're ready to go. You bringing this man into a well-oiled organization. Got to learn that organization. If Kavanaugh came in here right now and Matt Ryan went down in game 3, I don't think Kavanaugh could be as effective as a Matt Schaub because he doesn't know the offense. He doesn't have the pedigree as a player who's been in the game. Now, you said, well, Schaub hadn't played. Schaub is older. But still,
are you telling me? Let me ask you this question. Let me ask you a quick question. So if Matt went down in the third game of the season, will you be confident that he can continue to keep this team where Matt would have kept it? Are you confident that will happen?
I will feel more confident with Matt Schaub than with Kavanaugh.
I would rather take a chance on it. And I would say that
because Kavanaugh doesn't know the offense.
Well, I mean, nobody knows. I mean, I understand that part, but they have to learn it. They would have to learn it. I mean,
I don't think for a team like us, we need to have a quarterback that's learning on the fly. You know, we need wins, man.
Well,
just assume you look at it like this. If Matt Ryan went down, let's say it's not a season-ending injury, and it could be, just say a 10 game. I think Matt Schaub can probably carry this team for 4 or 5 of those games with wins. And for me, that's still pretty decent, even though that's not a
lot. I would say this. In most cases, a lot of time when you got a new quarterback comes in, I would prefer a new quarterback. But at the same time, a lot of time when a new quarterback comes in and teams doesn't have any tape on them, they seem to do pretty good. They seem to do pretty well. So I don't think they were
for a couple of games.
Yeah, but I mean, we don't. Okay, but like I said, we're speaking about a backup position. We're not talking about a starting position. I mean, it's going to take time to learn the position, but I think at the same time they need to take a chance and get somebody in here. Every for the last 4 or 5 years, what's name been back there? We just don't have a 10. Matt Ryan's we've been lucky. He's been healthy, and every year throughout the league, we got quarterbacks getting hurt. Several of them.
Why got to be luck? Why got to be luck for him? So it's luck for Drew Brees. It's luck for Tom Brady. It's luck for Phillip Rivers. These are 4 guys that I just named that's been there the same way. Why got to be so much of a luck for Matt Ryan? Now Matt Ryan's offense line, he hasn't been there like those other guys. I just read somewhere not long ago that Matt Ryan was sacked more times than but he was sacked a lot of times a year. They said that over the last couple of years, Matt Ryan has been getting up off the ground way too much for a guy that to be able to sustain a lot of that.
Okay.
But I'm thinking in the mindset that the Falcons are win now team. They cannot be banking on 2 to 3 years down the road. This team need a Super Bowl within the next 3 years.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I agree, but
they got quality guys that's young and they in their prime. That's why I don't think that the coaching move that were made is as bad as a lot of people think they are.
I want you to hear something.
You know,
I want you to hear something. We're going and we'll take to that next. I just want you to hear this right quick.
Matter. And I wanted to use the examples of inconsistency for us. Some people may lean.
You heard that? Inconsistency. Yeah. That's something I've been preaching on for the last, I don't know how many years about the Falcons. Inconsistency. He said consistent. And Dan Quinn talks about inconsistency for 2018. A lot of stuff is inconsistent. I could run on and play the clip, and there's more he's going to talk about. He's just in so many different ways. Let me jump over here. You said something about the offensive line. Let me make a point about the offensive line. One thing that happened, we talked about this the other day off the mic. The year they brought Sarkisian in, they also brought a new high school coach in as the offensive line coach. And I think it was a new down block. Sometimes it's a new blocking scheme they had to come in, and a change they had to do. Since they made that move and made those changes, we've been having a lot of problems with the offensive line. And I think I'm not saying that that's all the problem, but I think when you got a line that's been there for years, especially the year we went to the Super Bowl, you come in and change the way they're blocking. I mean, it takes time for a person to learn, like you were talking about the quarterback. And then everybody wants to jump on them, and the Matt Ryan's getting tackled or whatever. I think it's some issues with coaching, man. And we're gonna jump on that subject if it's okay with you. But I think we got a lot of problems in the coaching ranks, and I don't like what I see. I think it's a safe move, and I just don't like it. But I'm gonna give you an opportunity to kind of tell me what you think about that.
Well, when you look at the coaching move this past off season, it's a move that no one knows if it's going to work. Now, let's go back 3 years. The Falcons came in here with Dan Quinn. They went 8-8. The second year, Dan Quinn and the coaching staff went to the Super Bowl.
A new coach. Nobody has tape on it.
First time in it, the only second coach in the Falcons history to go to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Granted, they lost. How they lost, we won't go there. But they lost, and the offensive coordinator after that year left.
Yep.
The downside of what this year's move could be.
Hold on. But before you get too far ahead, the offensive coordinator left, but they also fired the defensive coach. I think it was defensive coordinator or defensive line coach.
I'm talking about the 20. I'm not talking after the 2016 year.
I'm talking the year after we went to Super Bowl.
When Shanahan left and went to San Francisco, the Falcons in and of itself had to start making moves coaching wise on that coaching staff.
Right.
Which is typical of a team that you go to the Super Bowl. You're going to get teams that pick coaches from it. Well, to me, I'll say, as you agreed, that the move for Sarkisian was not a good move. You didn't like it at the time.
I did not.
You never liked it even the 2 years he was here. It proved to be a bad move. Okay? Now, this move that they made right off season should have been a move that they made to me 2 years ago, which is get you an experienced guy, just like not to say you get Cutter because Cutter was at the coach of Tampa, but get you an experienced offensive coordinator that had the understanding of how to come in here and make this ball club better. The move he made to get Cutter is what he should have did 2 years ago. I repeat myself, because bringing an inexperienced OC in here, I think set the Falcons offense back 2 years. It really did. Even though our offense still scored a lot of points, we had a good numbers. Matt Ryan, all that is clear, but they just were not as good as they was when Shanahan was here, and the move that they made to get this guy hurt them. Well, now they are doing what they should have did 2 years ago, and I agree with the move of getting rid of Sarkisian. I like what's happening this year, and I tell you why. You have experience in the coaching. This guy already know and got a good relationship with Matt Ryan. I'm talking about in the person of Cutter. And this offense is not going to be changed much from what it already was. I like the move with the move of Dan Quinn becoming the defensive coordinator by and large, because
come on, man. I can't wait to talk. Go ahead.
Hear me out, and I'll let you respond after this. There are several coaches in the league. Belichick called his defensive plays. The offensive coordinator, the head coach of New Orleans, called his offensive plays. The head coach of Green Bay called his offensive plays. I just named 3 coaches. Even though that coach was fired, he was doing that for 15 years, the Green Bay head coach. So I just named 3 different coaches who are head coaches that literally call one side of the ball or the other. 1 on defense and 2 of them on offense. I go so far that the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles called his offensive plays. So why can't Dan Quinn do the same thing and be a head coach? It's common in the NFL that coaches do that. And these coaches have offensive and defensive coordinators, but they still calling the plays during the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I definitely believe, without a doubt, that this defense will be better. Because last year, the year they went to the Super Bowl, I heard that Dan Quinn started to insert his offensive play calling during the second half of the season. The defense been fairly good. Last year they had a lot of injuries, and I think the move had to be made, not so much because this guy wasn't doing the best, Marco Emmanuel, but he was a part of this total cleaning house process, and Dan wanted to be the total play caller of the defense. I think it's a very good move. I think Cutter would be a good move, and if we can have a good offensive line, a healthy running game with the Freeman coming back as he once were,
I don't believe that's going to happen.
I believe this team can get back to where they was in 2016.
I don't believe that. First of all, I don't believe Freeman's going to be the same Freeman he was when he left. I'm not saying he's going to be bad, but I don't think we're going to do the same thing. You got to expect the unexpected. Let me say a few things to you. Let me call a few names here for you. Mike Mularkey, former NFL head coach. Derek Carter, former NFL head coach. Who else? It was 3 of them. Derek Carter, Mike Mularkey, and who's the other guy?
I can't think of his name, but he was a head coach of, and I don't know what his position is with the Falcons, but he was a head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona Cardinals.
Okay.
In other words, the Falcons have 3 former head coaches.
All right, let me run.
Added to this app this year.
Let me run my thoughts. I got them on top of my head. Let me run my thoughts. I listened to everything you said real good, and you say you like the move. I don't like the move. One reason I don't like the move, yes, there's been coaches in the NFL. Head coaches, that's offensive that's offensive coaches, some of them are defense coaches. Sean Payton's an offensive coach, and Dan Quinn specializes in defense. But yeah, I think he specializes in defense. But the problem is they also brought in a special coach just to watch the time, just to do time management and a couple other features. Well, time management is the head coach's job. He's supposed to know what's going on the field. His job is to make sure that we call timeouts when we need to, when certain things need to happen. Dan Quinn just said a few minutes ago, inconsistent. I said inconsistent, but the same thing. In 2018, a lot of stuff was inconsistent. We wasn't doing stuff like we supposed to be. Now, the problem I have with this is that Dan Quinn, yeah, he's a good defense coordinator, but where's my head coach? Where's my head coach? See, I watch this guy on the sideline, and one thing I know is he does. He don't interfere with the offensive coordinator. He usually let the offensive coordinator do what he do. He actually watches the defense or whatever. But so many times last year and the year before last and the year before that, Dan Quinn, they just don't. They can't. He can't manage time like he should. He don't know when to call timeout. He don't know when to stop. He don't know when to kick a field goal. I mean that's why this year we put a lot of points on the board. We stayed close to the ball game, but in the end, we lost. Because where was our head coach making the right decision when they need to be made? Well, guess what Dan Quinn said? He said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hire me a special guy to come in and do what head coaches do, to be able to watch the clock and be able to tell us when we need to call timeout, watch the clock and let us know when we need to run the ball and stop throwing the ball. That's what a head coach does. Also, to back all that up, I'm going to hire Derek Carter. What's his name? Derek Cutter? Mike Mullarkey? Mike Mullarkey. That's who he hired from Tampa, wasn't it? I'm getting my names.
No, Derek Cutter.
Derek Cutter. That's what I'm trying to say. He hired Derek Cutter, a former head coach. So based on what I just said a few minutes ago, he hired a head coach to come in as offensive coordinator. Well, guess what? This guy gonna pretty much do most of the head coaching job. You mark my word, Atlanta. You mark my word. Derek Carter is gonna take over pretty much as head coach. A lot of stuff the head coach does, Derek Carter. I'm sorry. A lot of stuff that the head coach does, Derek Carter is gonna do this year. You watch what I'm saying, man. Dan Quinn gonna take over the defense. You know, he's gonna take over the defense. He's gonna run that defense, and I'm watching this very closely. Atlanta, I'm telling you guys, y'all need to listen to what I'm saying, man. Because I promise you, at the end of the season, you're gonna say, well, you know what? Thomas was right. Because Dan Quinn, he's worried about the defense, and Derek Carter's making all decisions on the offense. But I don't think it's gonna work, man. I don't think it's gonna work. Again, I said before, this was a safe move for Dan Quinn. This was a safe move. I don't like it. And you can say what you want to say, but I don't like the move. And just like I didn't like Sarkisian, I don't like this move.
Well, let me say this in your defense. This is move. I haven't did the research on it, but I think this is not the only, or if it's not the only, it's a rare move where there are so many former head coaches. And to include former coach of the Falcons,
same move,
offensive coordinator, has been brought back. The Falcons offensive coordinator at one time was Mike Mullarkey.
You had a coach. You had
one time
exactly,
but
you had a coach.
Cutter.
You had a coach that got fired, and you beat the coach. You beat his team, and now you bring them back.
Yeah, and both of these head
what
coaches,
they make?
Three of these head coaches. I don't remember the head coach that is. I don't know whether he's is an offensive line. It's a third head coach is on this ball club, and this is almost unprecedented that you got so many former head coaches and former guys that were on the same organization before, and guys that were fired from other organizations back on the same organization and putting them in a position for a team that, as I argued earlier, that's on the verge of have the, well, I won't say on the verge, but have the potential of winning a Super Bowl. It is, I agree with you that it is a very risky, dicey, however adjective I can use, move. Because it just, it almost signaled to many that the Falcons are lost in what they need to do. They are almost at a point to where they just don't know. When you go out and look at the number of, they're in a situation, for example, and I'm shifting it even to another area, but it's on the same topic, where here we are in a year where they got to sign their number one defensive player in Grady Jarrett.
Yep.
They got to sign, give an extension to a promise that made to the number one wide receiver in the game.
I like the way you said that.
And now in doing that, they have consistently been signing 1-year guys. These are subpar players that they have been signing now, all in an effort to ensure that they can sign these two guys.
Yeah.
When you're doing that along with all the head coaching moves, there's so many uncertainties that's going into this year. I can't blame you. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not agreeing with him in what I'm saying, but I'm just giving credence to the fact that his fear or his lack of trust, whatever other word I could use, is valid. It's just very, very risky what the Falcons is doing. It's very risky. And when you look at a team like in the division they're in, even though there have been a lot of changes in the division, when you look at Carolina, particularly in Tampa, you are still got to be up against a team that I believe that had a very good chance of not only being in the Super Bowl, but winning the Super Bowl. That's the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
I don't see this team will miss that much of a beat. So it's a very risky move, but I just have to say, based on the decision, let me repeat what I said.
Say it again.
The move that they made this past season, this off season, should have been the move they made 2 years ago. So I can't. Would I have knocked the move then? No, and I can't knock it now. Why wouldn't I have knocked it then? I said I would have much rather saw Derek Cutter coming here as an offensive coordinator than to have had Sarkisian coming here as an offensive coordinator.
Okay.
I really would rather had that. They didn't do it then. Dan Quinn and the organization rolled the dice with this OC, and they failed on it. And now they're doing what they should have did, and it just is. To me, I just have to believe it's the best move given the circumstances that was made 2 years ago. And here's what I also believe, that if it doesn't work, this entire coaching staff will be gone. The entire coaching staff, Falcons will literally start over again.
No, I agree with you.
This team,
and I agree with you on that point. And that's the point. That's one of the points I was making. I probably didn't say it earlier. That's one of the points I'm making. Why not? It's going to take 2 years for this staff to get their game plan together for us to see any results in it. Why not just go ahead and make some new changes and get some new coaches in here? But I think.
Let me stop you there. But can I ask you this? Can I ask you to hold that point?
We're not going to see a big difference next year. I'm telling you that right now. It's not going to go in next year. We're going to win. We're going to be in the Super Bowl.
Do you believe the Falcons should have this year? If you using that as a base for what you believe about the move, do you believe first that the Falcons should have gotten rid of Dan Quinn this year?
No, I think he deserves.
Okay, so if you don't believe they should have gotten rid of him, why then? But let me ask you this then. So they should have got rid of him. So should they have kept the staff that they kept? Should they have kept Sarkisian and Marco Emmanuel and the special teams coach?
No, special team coach, he would have been gone as well. I just my thing was
what about the defense coordinator?
Well, defense coordinator, I probably would have kept him. I would have kept Cox years ago. But I'm saying this, I would have kept defense coordinator. Yeah, I would have kept defense coordinator.
So you saying Dan could have made the defensive play calling and kept that same defense coordinator on staff?
I would have kept with Keith Armstrong, right? I would have kept him.
No, Keith Armstrong was a special teams coach.
Oh yeah, he had to go. Marquel Emmanuel. Defense coordinator.
The defensive coordinator was Marco Emmanuel.
Yeah. He was okay. I would have kept him.
You said they could have kept Marco Emmanuel.
Yeah.
And Dan Quinn.
Did you see? I heard somebody told me before it was a package deal. I guess everybody complains to us saying that with what for him and what for him.
We don't know. I can't say that.
I know that, but I'm saying, what do you say though? What do you say? What do you say? You think they should have kept him?
I could have lived with this. Here's what I could have lived with. I could have lived with getting rid of Sarkisian and getting rid of the special teams coach. And Dan Quinn, if you really got to have input in play calling, if it's just your thing to play calling, you could have still took a limited role in doing that and then coach the team or have the same time management team. You can't have a guy that you play. I won't say you can't. It wouldn't make any sense to have a defensive coordinator on the sideline and he really not doing as much because the head coach got his input.
I mean, he would. I think two heads are better than one. So now we're gonna have one head in there. So I don't agree with that. I think he's trying to do it by himself.
But the one head has history. Marco Emmanuel has a show that he can really run offense. The defense. But do you agree? Do we agree that Sarkisian should have been gone?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so would you? Say they got rid of Sarkisian, and they got rid of him. You don't like the Derek Cutter hire neither way. whether he's coming in a package with other guys or he just coming as he is now.
Well,
do you not like him as an OC?
I didn't say I didn't like him. I said I didn't like the move, but I think we should have went out and got somebody new. I like what they was trying to do. They was trying to get the offensive coordinator from Seattle. I like that move. It didn't happen, but I think they jumped too quick because I heard later on he came available. But at the same time, I think sometimes you need to put a little more thought in what you're bringing in. It just doesn't look right. You're bringing in a coach that was here before, and when he left, we fired him because he wasn't winning. Now he went to Tampa. He's not winning. They fired him, and then we bring him back and hire him again. That doesn't even look right, man. That don't make any sense.
But there are many, but keep in mind, there are many coaches.
You hired him because he was here before.
Or not. They do bad in one organization and come to another organization.
He's been in this organization before, Eddie. He's been here before.
But it doesn't matter.
Let me say this again. I don't think you heard me.
We're talking 7 years ago. He was here in 2012, so we're talking 7 years ago he was here. When you look at Shanahan had been fired from 2 organizations before coming to Atlanta, Denver and Washington. Look what he did when he came to Atlanta.
But he's never been to Atlanta.
They took him to the Super Bowl. You can't just say because he had a bad stint. Even though Atlanta wasn't one of the clubs that got rid of him before, you can't say just because a guy got fired from another organization or he's been in that organization before,
Eddie.
He won't do well on a different circumstance.
Not just Tampa. He got fired from this organization because he couldn't get the job done. We bring him back again. We bring him back again, even though he didn't do it before. Why would you bring somebody back that you fired before? I can understand if he left here and didn't do well, went to another team and did well, left on a good record. Then we hired him. No. We fired him because he wasn't doing well. He went to another team. And in fact, the Falcons even beat him with Sarkisian, who we just fired. And now we're going to bring him back? Don't add up.
Most of the time,
add up, man.
Listen at this. Most of the time, coaches are hired in the NFL or on a team when they have been former coaches, may not be head coaches.
There's many coaches
and
out
they
there.
either got
that was fired
off of that staff.
Yes.
Listen to me. They got fired off of that staff, not individually fired. A lot of times, you got guys who were assistant coaches on a staff. If that head coach gets fired, use that organization clean house. Everybody on the staff go. And once that happens, guys either if they never coached before, it's a reason for it. Most guys, and here's the third thing: even if they come off a winning organization, most of the coaches that leave the New England Patriots don't go to other teams and become very good. They don't do very well.
This cat,
it's like a number of guys that leave. The number of coaches that leave Nick Saban's staff never go anywhere. Most of the time, I won't say never. The history has shown most of those guys leave and go to other coaching jobs and don't do very well. But I'm just using that example. So even though it's college, you can't just say because a guy didn't have a good job, do a good job where he was at, he won't do a good here. You look at Tampa. Tampa was a basket of mess down there. When the Falcons were here before, when Carter was here before, the defense was not as good. They were not as good as they are now. And the Falcons, even though they had Julio Jones.
Let me quote something to you. He was in Tampa from 2016 to 2018. He was in Atlanta from 2012 to 2014. 2 years, they got rid of him both times. Go ahead.
But I understand that. But do you not take into account what I just said? A lot of guys that leave other organizations, they don't leave on winning notes. And if they do leave on winning notes, they don't necessarily win where they go. Most guys are fired. They just sitting out there. They saying, hey, it just happened. There are so many instances where guys go to other places and they do well when they haven't done where they did well where they came from. It happened. When Belichick came to New England Patriots, he had been losing. One of the things that Falcon did when they hired Mike Smith, they thought he was going to be the best thing ever happened for the Falcons because he was on the Baltimore Ravens, and the Ravens were good. They won a Super Bowl. They had Ray Lewis. And their defense was excellent. So they thought that Mike Smith, and it didn't never work the way they thought. You just can't say because he lost other places. I think this Falcons team, D, is a very good team. We got a collection of.
I agree with that. I agree with this. A very good team.
The core of their players, the core of the Falcons players are better to me
I agree with you on that.
Any group of players anywhere in the NFC South.
I agree with that, but the problem is coaching.
On both sides of the ball, I can name key positions that make the Falcons a better unit as a player. Now, they player personnel might fall off a little bit because they are doing a lot of signing these one-year deals. They signing a lot of guys that ain't real good to me.
Coaching.
Now they talking about rolling the dice with what's the name? The kid out of the defensive end that they getting ready. They getting ready to give
Vic
this
Beasley.
money to.
Vic Beasley.
Yes. That's been a failure for the last 2 years. But Dan Quinn have already said he's going to step up and work directly with. They have a collection of good players, and if they get the right guys on this sideline that can really concentrate on our defense, to me, besides last year's injuries, has been stout and very good ever since Dan Quinn came into this organization.
Yeah.
Besides last year's injuries, the Falcons defense have been the best defense I've seen on this club in a long time. I believe this defense has a collection of very good players. They showed that when they went to the Super Bowl with a bunch of young guys. These guys are better now.
I don't deny that. I agree with you. We have a great team. We have great players. We have a great chemistry when it comes to players. We had a lot of injuries last year. The problem I got with us, the problem we've had since Shanahan left is coaching. I think we got rid of some good coaches that we should have kept, and now we're bringing some damn phony coaches in here that we don't need. That's where I'm at.
Yeah.
That's where I stand. You can believe it if you want to, but when the season's over with, we'll have the same conversation again, and we'll be like, you know what?
We will see, and you might be right, D. And
you might be right as well. I mean, I'm willing to admit if I was wrong.
I might be right as well, but I have to say, as we discuss this on the mic, the chances are you being right is, to me, greater than me being right. And
no. Your opinion is just like mine.
Listen,
it's just we both share an opinion.
I don't agree with you. That's right. This is an opinionated matter.
Right.
But I'm almost being fair in what I see. My assessment of it, my viewing of it, and analysis of this team is just like yours. I'm viewing it and analyzing fairly, and not with just hopes and love. I really got to look at the facts. If they don't be what they could be, and I believe they got the players who are talented enough to win, and they have shown they can win by going to the Super Bowl. The number one guy that's been here for the last 4 years, now going to his 5th year, is Dan Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't do it this year, I think it still shall fall and will fall on him. You've given reasons earlier why. He just made a statement about how inconsistent they are. He was also talking about himself.
Yes.
Because if you got the talent, you're supposed to get your coaches to include. Even if you pick these guys and they don't do what you think they ought to do, you're supposed to call them in check. If it's in the game, in practice, or in that film room, you're supposed to get them in line to say, here's what I expect. Here's what I want. Here's why you got hired here. I chose you to be here. And if Dan Quinn going to sit up there and say, well, I'm a defensive guy. When the time the team offense come on the field, I'm going to stand over here and be a spectator just like the other fans.
He's going to let Derek Cutter run the offense. And what's going to happen is Derek Cutter going to make a decision. He's going to either accept it or deny it. In most cases, he's going to say, yeah, let's do that. That's what's going to happen. He's not going to be a head coach like he should be. What I want when it comes down to making a decision or whether we should challenge the call or we should change that play, I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going whatever Derek Cutter, the losing coach from Tampa, come in and says, he's going to support it. That's the problem. That's what I see, and that's how I feel. That's my opinion, and I stick with it.
You got enough. You have in only 4 years. You have enough evidence in 4 years that give you reason to believe that he'll continue to do that, because that's what he has done. In some part, because I look at let me give an example to what example you just gave. I can count the number of times that I have seen Dan Quinn go over to Matt Ryan, except high five him or smile or greet him when they have done something good.
Don't do it. He don't do it.
I don't see him going over to him, talking to him, chastising him. I don't see him getting over there, sitting down with the offensive coordinator, Matt Ryan. I'll see him go over there to the defense and do that.
Yep.
But he never does it with Matt Ryan. And that could be a problem, and it also could add to what you just said. He will stand there and allow Derek Cutter to do the same thing that he allowed Shanahan to do in the Super Bowl and Sarkisian, and never step in and say, hey, what the heck do you call that play for? You know what I mean? What the heck do you call it? I watched Dabo Swinney screaming to the mic in that championship game against this past season. And I won't quote on the mic the exact words, right? But he went to that defensive coordinator and told him, do your effing job.
We're talking about Clemson and Alabama. Make sure our listeners know who we're talking about.
Clemson and Alabama.
Okay.
Dabo Swinney screamed in the mic so loud and he didn't know the mic was reading. He cursed. He said, do your effing job. You would never hear Dan Quinn say anything to his coaching staff while he's on the sideline. Nothing.
Just watch him.
I've seen Sean Payton go off on his coaching staff so hard on the defensive play. I've seen him go off on the doggone special teams coach. He make his unhappiness to what they have done known, and do it without embarrassing the guy. But it just shows me that he's all into what's going on.
He's into what's going on.
And Dan don't do that at all. And I think that's why it's so important, and that's why I am happy again with Cutter. I'm not arguing against what I just said. I'm adding to it, but I'm still standing ground. That's why Dan Quinn gave this job to a head coach, because he said, you know what? I know you're going to do better than what any other guy that I can hire, particularly Sarkisian. He had to do that.
Because Sarkisian didn't know.
And if you look, excuse me?
Sarkisian didn't know. He was trying to learn. He was learning a little bit the second year, but it's just so much stuff for him to come in from a college team to coach the NFL that he just didn't know. And I don't blame that. Maybe he'll be better down the line. Maybe he'll get better as a head coach, as an offense coordinator. But Sarkisian just didn't know, and I can't blame him for that. You know.
Well. Guess what? He'll get better and he'll look better because guess what? He's back at Alabama. Yeah. And he's their OC.
He's gonna learn. He's gonna learn from Nick. He's gonna learn from Nick Saban because guess what? Nick Saban ain't gonna play.
Well,
that.
he was there before, but you're right. He'll do better than he did last time.
But Nick Saban would see, something about him that Nick Saban likes. Now he's been in the NFL and got a taste of the real world. Got a real world. So now he's gonna go out there.
And it also confirmed more likely than not that Nick got rid of him based on his problem with alcohol at that time. The man had a drinking problem. And you know, but that's beside the point. I just feel like Derek Cutter, you use the operative and correct word that described this entire move off season by the Falcons and by Dan Quinn and Dimitrov. The move that they made and have made, even with these players that they're signing, is safe moves. They are safe moves. They say, guys, we can't make an error. We got to try to do the thing that we believe going to give us a better chance to not be viewed as making an error. Because if that error is made, I agree with you again, the Falcons will literally start over. And that would be, to me, devastation. It would be
devastating to a lot of Falcons fans. A lot of people, like you said, they're already talking about what the moves that the Falcons are making, and they don't like the moves. And I mean, we have no choice. We can give our opinion, we can get, but we have to wait it out and see what they do and support our team. I just want to make it clear out there for all my Falcons fans that, hey, look, I am a big supporter of the Falcons. I love my Falcons. When they come home, I hurt like everybody else when the game and they lose, whatever. And that's why I'm so concerned. That's why a lot of time when you hear me talking, some people probably say that, well, he's not a Falcons fan because he don't like this and he don't think that, No, I'm saying that because I was a coach and I played ball. I'm not in the NFL, but I played college ball and I coach football as well. So I know the game. I feel like I know it pretty well. In the last few years you and I have been talking, I've been pretty much on track of some of the things I've been seeing. And when I watch a ball game, I watch a game to sort of like a coach does. I kind of break it down and see what the problems are. And but right now, I'm looking at from what we had last year going to this year. One other thing I think we need to make some changes on that I don't think they have made it as of yet. They need to get a new offensive line coach. I don't like what the offensive line coach was doing last year. I think that offensive line coach added to some of the problems that we were having last year, even though we had a lot of injuries. Matt Ryan shouldn't be put on the ground that much. And the good thing about it, the NFL now is protecting quarterbacks, and that's why quarterbacks are playing longer. But at the same time, we need to make sure our quarterbacks protected. I mean, I watched the game. I watched the Super Bowl. I watched New England play against the Rams. And one thing I want to see, I just want to see the consistency of New England. And the reason New England won that ball game because they were consistent. They came out with a great game plan. And one thing about the game was close all the way up until the fourth quarter. And like New England always does, when you're consistent, what happens doing the same thing, most of the time you'll win the ball game if it's a close ball game. And they did that. And I like that. Tom Brady, I'm not going to go into detail, but I mean, I don't know how you feel about that, but I mean, I think
Well,
we need to take some notes from those guys.
I agree with you 100%. One of the things that you got to ensure to be successful in the NFL, your offensive and defensive line got to be intact.
Oh yeah.
Now, granted, every team in the league have injuries on both sides of the ball on that line. Every team in the league got to move guys in and out because of contracts. Guys go to other teams. Guys get old. You need to move them. That's why it's so important what you just said. That offensive line coach got to know what he wants and be able to take what is presented to him by the GM,
right,
and make it work for the team.
Exactly.
And the Falcons haven't been able to do that.
No.
They have did better at that on the defense side of the ball because Dan Quinn knows defense. He knows what it takes. That's why I believe, for example, ladies and gentlemen, Vic Beasley, I believe will be a better player this year. You know what I mean?
Well,
I really believe
and I can support that because at one point in time,
Dan Quinn already said, I'm gonna say he said before training camp is over, he gonna either love me or he gonna hate me.
Right. Because
he gonna work with him personally and get on him and he see the potential in what he was able to do that year they went to the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
But Dan Quinn know that defensive line is much better, even though there's I just think that offense got to get the same type of head coach. They got to get the same type of head coach. Now, again, I'm not agreeing with you, but I got to throw in what you said to help make me think, and the fans out there to understand, when you look at an older guy like Derek Cutter, who done been around, who's very subject to go to other head coaching jobs, if he get here in that first year, say he get here the first year and the Falcons make it to the playoffs and go deep in the playoffs, or say the Falcons get to the Super Bowl and lose. Who's to say Derek Cutter won't be going to another head coaching job?
Yeah.
And the next year we right back in the same position again.
He was only there 2 years. He was only Tampa 2 years. He was only here 2 years.
No, he will only been here 1 year. Say this year he come in, he does a very good job. And he's been we can't just keep hiring guys on both sides of the ball and changing guys out every year in and out. That just can't. That's where a lot of your inconsistency starts at. When you don't have the right philosophy, one of the things that have made you look at the two winningest teams to me. Besides the team, even though LA was in the Super Bowl, it's going to be a question as to whether they can continue to be a dominant ball club. They have the players.
I don't think they
will.
But
when you look at the two consistent teams to me, in the personage of New England and New Orleans, the core coaching staff, starting with the head coach, has consistently been there.
Yep.
That offensive coordinator for the New England Patriots have been there throughout. He had a head coaching job a couple years ago, agreed to leave, went in the media, say he was leaving, and all of a sudden got in Detroit and went back to New England. The same, Drew Brees had the same head coach ever since he been in New Orleans.
You want to be everybody want to be with a winning program. They want to be the winning program, and I do believe that New Orleans believe that next year is going to be their year. And I'm here to tell you, I'm a Falcons fan, but I'm gonna tell you what, the only thing in this NFC South where we're in, if we don't get our act together, they're gonna win this division. If we don't have our act together next year, they will win this good. I'm telling you, and I'll go even further to say, when we play New Orleans the first ball game of this year, you will be able to determine what kind of team we have for the year. I promise you.
Yes, he very
much. We played New Orleans because that's probably one. That's not only probably one of the better. Listen. Let me say this. New Orleans not only probably the first or second best team in this division, they probably one of the better teams in the whole NFC. So you're not playing just a regular team. You playing a team that's probably going to be a Super Bowl contender next year.
They very well could be, given what they have done over the last 3 years.
I'm not taking nothing from even though we don't like the Saints. I can't take it from them.
Yeah. In the last 3 years, they have really did well, and they have improved significantly on the defense side of the ball. And for some reason, the older this guy gets, the better he has gotten. He just like Drew. I'm talking about Drew Brees.
Yeah.
He's just like Peyton.
Yeah.
He's got better. His bad completion is better. And you're right. If they dominate that South and come out of that South as they did leading that division, they are very dangerous.
Very dangerous
when it comes to the rest of the NFC. Because you know what I mean. The Falcons. That's why the test you hit it right on the head when you said the test for the Falcons gonna be that first time we play them and when we play them the second time. I don't believe that big of a test gonna be for how they play us. If we beat them, it won't be that big of a test to them as it will be for us. Because this team is very good. This team went through 10 games last year. I think they were 10-1 before they were just playing good, and they were running the numbers up on people, man.
Yes.
They were scoring big numbers. I remember the Dallas Cowboys slowed them down. I think it was the Cleveland Browns in the early part of the year. Got on them, and they came back and barely beat them. And the next loss they had,
the
first loss they had was late in the season.
The first loss they lost
Cowboys.
the first game of the season to Tampa. They lost to Tampa the first game of the season, if I'm not mistaken. Then they lost again to the Cowboys. Because Cowboys
and they played close. I remember they played close to Cleveland. I thought Cleveland would beat them. They beat Cleveland, they edged Cleveland out, and they didn't lose again until they played the Dallas Cowboys. They are a very good ball club.
And many people would say from New Orleans, and I might even say in that game against the Rams, hey, that game that was a decision made by the official. Because that game should have been easily won by.
To some extent, let me correct you on that. To some extent, because if they were still playing well in that game or at the level they should have been playing, they would have never been in that position.
That's true.
They did not play very well. They did not play very well in that game.
We could say the same thing. We could say the same thing with the Super Bowl. When you get shocked by a play, they got shocked also in that one play, and they never were the same after that one play.
But they did not play well. They admit that. One thing, Drew Brees came on and made a statement. He said, "We got to give the credit to the other team. They beat us.
They did.
They beat them because they did not play well. They would have never been in that position if they had beat that ball club. They were never the same ball club to me.
But I would say this.
Offensively, they were never the same ball club after they lost to Dallas.
But I would also say this. I think they would have played the New England Patriots a lot better than what the Rams
played. They could have. I don't think they would have beat them. I don't think they would have beat them. I really don't.
I don't know. Their defense, the defense is a lot better than they have been in the past. I don't know either,
but I still lean that way because New England is a great ball club, and in that game, in those Super Bowl times that they went there, they played better than their opponent. That's why they got 7 of them.
Yeah.
I just don't think New Orleans would have beaten them. I'm not going to worry about New Orleans.
Right.
I believe we should have beat New Orleans that first game, even though injuries played a role. We still should have beat them, and we should have beat them the second game, even though injury played even more of a role.
Right.
We were definitely in both of those games with New Orleans.
Well, I would say this. I am concerned about New Orleans, and going into the season, I look at it like a coach. I'm going to watch New Orleans Saints games just like I watch our games because I want to be able to see what we're going to have to face later on. And I watch those guys. I watch how on the return team. I watch how they're using that running back he can play as a return guy. He can play as a running back. He plays as a receiver. I mean, they got so many. And then they got Ingram on the sideline. Kamari, right? Yeah. Then they got Ingram on the sideline, and they got Thomas, the receiver. So I mean, Saints don't have a whole lot. We have even more. But the little they do have, they know how to use it, and they use it well. Yeah. And that's the little thing that I've seen with us that I haven't seen us do enough. We're not using what our strengths like we should. And that when Sarkisian was here, I mean, when Shanahan was here, we used everything we had and to the advantage, to the advantage.
Well, again, D, I have to say this: I still believe last year was not as bad, would not have been nearly as bad as it was if we had a healthy defense. We had a health issue that struck this ball club, and it really set us back early on. You remember I argued that all year, that we were not going to have a good year because of the injuries. I believe that the Falcons, they come back and we don't have the same thing happen, I think we can be a very good ball club. New Orleans, I'm going to do them just like you said you are, that is watch them very closely. I believe New Orleans is going to have a lot more fire in them this year as opposed to last year based on what happened to them.
I agree.
And if they stay healthy, they're going to be could be a very dangerous ball club. But it could be a year that New Orleans have some injuries. Faith, you look at a 40-year-old quarterback. You look at a Kamari who could get injured. and have they're not a deep ball club. They just not. They have a weakness at wide receiver. They don't have a big deep wide receiving crew. They have a weakness on the not on the pass rush, but on the safeties.
Right.
They're weak in that position. They overcome their weaknesses by the head coach, the quarterback, and the running game, and now the defense is very well. Well, you say, what else do they need? That's good enough for them to win. Yes, it is. I still think it doesn't matter what the record is, no matter how good they are, how good we are going to play each other tough. And if Atlanta can defend them and put pressure on that quarterback and stop Kamari, we got a very good chance of beating this ball club. We just got to become consistent. I feel real good, ladies and gentlemen, about the Atlanta Falcons. In spite of all what I said, I feel good about us next year. I feel real good. I can't wait, people. I cannot wait.
All right. I'm not going to hold you no longer on that Falcons subject, but I do want, before we leave, if you got time, I do want to touch on those Hawks. I mean, let me end this about the Falcons. He feels good about them. I'm shaky about them. And I guess when the season starts, we'll be able to talk a little bit more about it. But like I said, do you have time to talk about a little bit about the Hawks?
Oh, yeah, I'm very excited about the Hawks. I have all night to talk about.
Talk to me. Tell me how you feel about them Hawks, man. You sent me a text. You sent me a text the other day.
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, we always talk on the Hot Mic about the Falcons. The Hot Mic is a talk show that's about all sports nationwide, but mainly Atlanta. And I love everything about Atlanta, to include Atlanta Hawks. When Atlanta Hawks made the move last year, and cleaned house, everybody who watched them said, I thought we were going to rebuild what we already had. And I agree with the move of bringing in a new GM, bringing in a new owner, and starting from scratch. And the Falcons in that move went out and picked up a GM who were a part of the Golden State Warriors, and then they went in and hired a coach who at one time was assistant coach with the Golden State Warriors, and they also went out and drafted players in the same fashion of play as the Golden State Warriors. And so they started with the point guard. They have a point guard who I've identified and named Baby Curry because he plays just like
Curry. Say that again. Tell people what's a Baby. Tell me what's a Baby Curry.
His real name is Trey Young. Point guard out of Oklahoma. Has the same shooting. This guy led the league, the college in scoring last year and assists. And he's coming to the league this year and had a dynamic first year. And he's just not one player. The Hawks are at least 3 to 5 years away from even being a conversation of a very good ball club. And a very good ball club. They're at least 3 to 5 years away.
I watched my second Hawks game the other night, man. And usually during the season, I don't watch basketball as much. I mean, I kind of follow, I read the score, and I look at some of the points and everything. But, and I'm going to tell you something I saw last night on TV. After let me say this right quick. I got to say this. Yesterday on SportsCenter, all the talk all day long was about LeBron and the Milwaukee Bucks. And what's that boy name from Milwaukee that's supposed to be the next superstar coming up? They were comparing Guinness. They was comparing him to Guinness and how this game gonna come on.
The Geek Freak.
Yeah. But when the game was over, they talked a little bit about this, and I hear from Atlanta fans. I hear on the Atlanta shows say that ESPN don't give Atlanta any love. But let me tell you something. Trey Young got the mic. Almost every conversation, every show that came on, they were talking about how Trey Young was popping them threes and taking over the ball game. After 4 overtimes, even with a loss, Trey Young still, this cat put up 49 points, 8 rebounds, 16 assists, and played 56 minutes in the game against the Chicago Bulldogs. And 4 overtime. This cat in overtime was still hitting. Some people say he's not clutch right yet, but he's getting there. And also, he's also in the topic of the MVP of the league. They wondering that, if he have a chance to become the MVP,
the
rookie
MVP.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited about that. And Atlanta, we need something like that.
I've been watching them all year. He's always, one thing when I watch the Hawks, I don't watch them for wins or losses. I watch them and how they play, and the excitement that they bring to the arena.
That's
I
good,
went down to see the Hawks 4 times this year, and the Hawks, each game I went down there, the excitement has been phenomenal.
I mean, this
guy
shooting,
can pass the ball. He get the other guys involved. He take long, deep threes. Now, what he has done when the All-Star game took place on 2 weeks ago, he and another Hawk player dominated the All-Star for the young guys. This guy almost won the most valuable player in the Rising Stars game, which is a game where all the rookies and the second-year players played in a game. He was one play away from being the most valuable player in that game.
Wow!
In the skills contest, which is a part of the festivities, he was one shot away from winning that trophy.
Wow!
And ever since the All-Star game, his jump shot is now falling.
It's falling.
He's a very good passer.
And this is the best time. This is the time
guys.
of season for that too. This is the time for.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Oh my
this
goodness!
This is when teams get hot. I mean, one thing I can.
Now giving the Hawks only won 20 games.
Yeah.
But it's not the wins and losses.
Yes.
For the Hawks are 3 to 5 years.
And they beat the Lakers. Did they beat the Lakers a couple games ago? Did they beat the Lakers?
They beat the Lakers.
See?
They beat the Lakers.
Let
me
go back. They beat LeBron James.
That game. They beat the Lakers. This guy scored, I think, 28 points.
That got my attention right there.
Points. Oh my goodness!
I've been watching Trey throughout the year, but off and on, I've been hearing the things he's been doing. But I guess people didn't believe he was for real. And like you said, in the second half,
like there's another guy that came out before him in the draft that was picked up by Dallas. Where Atlanta had a chance to get that guy. Atlanta passed up on him, so all year they've been sort of comparing this guy Young and the other guy to each other because they were the top.
Right.
They were the top. This guy was the top 3 player. Young was like the top 5. And so they've been comparing these two guys. Well, Atlanta, I agreed then, as I do now, that the trade was the best move because the other guy, he's a European player. And in my watching the NBA, European guy doesn't fare well as an American player. But this European guy so far has done very well.
What do you think? What do you think about the coach?
I still like the Trae Young move.
What do you like? How you like this coach we got this year?
Well, I'm still feeling him out. But like I said before, this guy came off the coaching staff with the Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
He helped build that.
That's a plus.
That championship.
That's a plus.
Yes, that's a plus, and that's why they brought him in. This is what Atlanta did when they went in there and cleaned house. They did this before they got to clean the house. They went out and found them a GM. They fired the GM that they had.
Okay.
And they went out and hired them a GM, and they went straight into Golden State.
Wow.
And that GM has came to Atlanta, and he's carefully and quietly built this team just like the Golden State Warriors.
And
they got the same type of players. If you look at Baby Curry, he looked like a Steph Curry.
He sure does.
He look like
but you know what I like about
this?
He
shoot the ball 40. He shoot the ball so far. I'd be like, well, don't shoot it that far. Then he'll go in.
Bam,
and
all
season, all season he's been missing. But I know, he got to work on his shot as the season's over. Oh my goodness! You ought to look at the other players they have. They have nice.
But let me say this.
Oh man, they got a Draymond Green type of guy out there. They got another dude that play in the backcourt with Baby Curry, that shoots the ball just like Klay Thompson.
What?
Oh my goodness! If you watch them, I'm like, this is a spin image of the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, but you know what's good about that? But you know what's good about it, Eddie? What I like about what's going on right now, we getting publicity. And Trae Young is really doing the job alone. Now the team is starting to gel and play better together. Even though we know we're not probably won't make the playoffs, and we know that we're still a few years away. But the good thing about it, when you got a good team and players know good teams, players know who they want to play with. Now you got players out there that's going to want to come to Atlanta and play with us. Now you got good players out there because players don't want to go to sorry team. They want to go somewhere they can rent a ring, and they love to go to a team that they think they can make a mark. Just like this boy from New Orleans, he just left New Orleans because he don't want to play there any longer. I'm hoping that with Trae Young and some of the other players we got on our cast, is going to attract good talent to change this team around. Let me ask you this: see, you're a big basketball fan. I watch the games. I'm just getting into it more, but I just give my opinion on what I see. What do you think? What do you think we need to get this team to that next level?
Well, one of the things
what position
we got to do is just keep. Let me throw this in here, and this is sort of a off the chart, but it's got to be included. As good as Trae Young is, and the players around him right now, a few of them anyway, you gotta the luck has to fall in their favor that they stay healthy. They gotta, and they progress in the right direction. I think these guys have shown enough potential that they'll get better each and every summer, but they gotta stay healthy. Well, so what do we need to do? We need to continue to build. One of the things that the Hawks are going to get this year is 2 top tier draft players. They're going to get top guys because the way this GM set it up and the way they got rid of their older team, they got key picks that's going to be high up in the draft. So they got to keep building that. Once you build to a level that you feel like you got the player that you need to win, then you go in with money and the right picks. You go in and say, now we're going to start making trades for key guys that is on a veterans level from other teams. So
let me ask you this.
And that's where your exposure comes to play, because now you got guys saying, oh, I like Atlanta. I like the excitement they generate now. I like that new arena they got.
Yeah.
And everybody like Atlanta. So they say, hey, let me go down there. The Hawks have the money. They got the environment. The city has embraced them. They have a D-League team in this city. A D-League is like a minor league basketball team,
right?
Which is in College Park. They got the Emory facility that's connected with the organization.
Awesome.
So they're focused on health and keeping condition of their players. They, for the first time in a long since Ted Turner left this city with the Atlanta Hawks over 20 years, 25 to 30 years ago. This is the first time that the Hawks have really embraced and got the right organization in the right direction.
But you know what?
I believe, unless he up and change, and I don't think he will, because he bought into that arena down there, they have an owner, to me, when it comes to love for his team and love for the city, just like Arthur Blank. They got an owner down there. Just now, he's not. He don't have a business here like Arthur Blank has the Home Depot. But he have a love for what he can get here, and I think this team is gonna. I think this team future is very bright.
And I think what you're saying too. I think one of the things that they did at the Hawks this year is not only did they change they remodeled their arena. It looks like a whole different atmosphere, and a lot of things they're doing in the media. But the coaching staff and the front office has changed, and they got that mentality, that win mentality. I mean, they going after winners. I mean, they going after people that they know that's going to get the job done. I'm excited about the Hawks, and I'm excited about, for years we've been kind of, the Hawks play, but nobody goes. You can buy tickets for $10, but now I think this team is giving the fans something to cheer for and want to see. Like you said, they're
excited. They play excited, man. They got a great dunker. They got a dunker like Dominique. You know what I mean? They got a guy that can flat. They got a very good bunch of guys that makes them very exciting to watch. You know what I mean? The arena, they got Ryan Cameron. He's a PA announcer. They got a lot of. It's like you at a concert up in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm so excited about them. I'm planning before the end of this month to take my grandkids there.
Oh man, you gotta let me know, man. We're gonna go together. I haven't been to the game this year, but
it's a very fun atmosphere. You need to go in and just watch, man. You know what I mean? And the whole environment for me downtown, Atlanta has did a very good job. Let me throw that in, as I said earlier about the love we have for our Atlanta team. The city has done a very good job since the Olympics to make the connection in that area down there between Centennial Park, the Hawks the Falcons, and all up along there. The city is doing very well down there around that World Congress Center.
Awesome.
And that whole environment right in there. And now we got a soccer team that's been to kick off this coming Thursday night. And now you got the the Super Bowl just left. The Football Hall of Fame is down there. You got the
College Football Hall of Fame.
You got the Civil Rights Museum right in there. You got the aquarium right there. You got the Apex Museum for the kids.
And everything's in walking distance, folks. And you guys, if you're not from Atlanta,
everything is right in there.
Everything is right
there, man. And it is so great, man, to be a part of that. And you have up and coming organizations.
Yeah.
This city has a great chance in the next 5 to 10 years to be a very good football and college. That's a great sports town.
Yeah.
If we can get Georgia, and Georgia's winning. We can, oh my goodness! Don't get me. I'm just excited about what the Hawks.
Tell it, Big Time. Tell it.
Oh man, I love what the Hawks are doing. And fans got this. You got to be patient. I just don't believe this team will be like a lot of the teams that have been building for years and never got it right. I just hope they can continue to progress and bring, if not a championship, bring basketball back into this city where people have a belief that they can win. This is why I just hope and pray that the Falcons haven't lost that. If they don't do, that's why this year again is such a vital year, and it's a win all, a break all year. Because if they go in here and have a horrible year, they could lose this fan base for a long time.
Yeah.
They really can, because they are already up against competition.
And
in that Mercedes-Benz, when you speak about the United,
about champions, yeah. When you talk about champions, the Atlanta United, as you guys didn't know, I mean, because a lot of people listen to the show from out of not necessarily out of the state, they're out of the country. We got people out of the country listening to the show. I'm sure I want to make sure put a shout out to our military people out there, because I know that some of you guys are listening. We get a report showing where we got people picking up all outside the country. So I want to shout out to all the military people out there, and we thank you for your service, guys, and we really do, man, because I know it's tough, and we want to be able to bring stuff to you and to tell you what's going on here in Atlanta, especially if you're from Atlanta or if you're an Atlanta fan. But it's a lot going on here, man, and we're excited about it and looking for big things popping here. Hey, Big Tim, I just want to point out to people, let everybody know tomorrow, depending on where you are, the Atlanta Hawks play tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. They playing the same Bulls they played yesterday and lost to in four times overtime, the fourth overtime. So they're playing tomorrow at 3 p.m. I'm not sure if it's going to be in Chicago. It's going to be here. So if you guys get a chance to tune in and watch that ball game, it's going to be fun to watch that Trae Young, guys. See what you tell us what you think about him, and you'll see what we're talking about. All the stuff Big Time. Big Time has been there live and in person at the what is it now? State Farm Arena, because they've had, I get getting mixed up with Phillips Arena, because that place since I've been here, it's had 3 different names. So now State Farm Arena. Also, we got Mercedes-Benz. So, I mean, like Big Time was saying, guys, it's just so much to do. We had the Super Bowl here this year, and I think as the next year, a couple of years now, we're going to have the NBA Final Four. I think it's coming to Atlanta again.
NCAA,
And I don't know. I heard probably next 5 years we might have the Super Bowl back again. So, I mean, it's a great, it's a great city. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh yes. You got to have love for it, man. I mean, you don't have to be from Atlanta to be a part of it. You don't have to love it like the people who live here are from Atlanta or from Georgia, but you still can enjoy what the city is trying to do and has done.
Has done.
That if it's a city where you live, you ought to enjoy some of the festivities, because this is a beautiful time to be in a place like Atlanta, even in the world, and be among the living. Let me throw this in. Georgia Tech, as you know, ladies and gentlemen, off this past season hired them a new head coach.
Yes, sir.
And there's a lot of excitement that's generated. It's going to be generated around them. This guy, I think, has Georgia connections, and he's already announced this week that the Yellow Jackets football team is going to play one game a year over the next 4 or 5 years in the Mercedes-Benz.
That's going to be hot. That's going to be hot.
He said he bought that up, and Arthur Blank and organization agreed to do it because he wanted to give exposure to Georgia Tech.
Yes.
And try to get some of the recruits coming out of this area. So
And I would agree with him on that, even though we in Atlanta. But guess what? The University of Alabama is not far down the road either. We cross over I-20 into Alabama. The University of Alabama is right there. And it seems like every year they play at least 2 games here in Alabama. Sometime at the beginning of the season, the University of Alabama end up playing somebody in the kickoff classic. And then the SEC championship, Alabama's there. So so why not have some of our own talent?
I never thought, and I never thought of it that way because they do. And even though it did that year they went to the championship award. But that type, see, when you are a great, this is the
it's a great city,
college
man.
Football capital of the world.
Yeah,
that's why that museum moved here. And when you look at playing in a spectacle like the Mercedes-Benz, one of a kind in the world, with all the exposure, when you put your team in that building, you almost selling yourself. Oh my goodness! That's why so many guys they look at Alabama and say, "I want to play for them."
Yeah.
Because look where I'm gonna go play. I'm gonna go to Atlanta and play. I'm gonna go to all the excitement up in Atlanta, the adult entertainment. A lot of oh my goodness, all that in the back of the young kids' mind.
You know what, Ben? I heard something the other day that New Orleans was losing. Mercedes is taking their. I guess they got a 10-year agreement on what I don't know how many years it was on their stadium, so they're losing their name, Mercedes-Benz, in New Orleans Superdome. So that it's going to be renamed on another company. But I would say this about Atlanta and the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We're stadium, they're Superdome. I was kind of scared about them tearing the old stadium down and building this one. But they're bringing so much talent, so many different powerful events to Atlanta. Not even concerts, Beyonce, what's this girl name? I can't think of her name, but they bring a lot of top acts to Atlanta, and people want to be in Atlanta. Like I said before, from my understanding, I heard that they're voting to try to get the Super Bowl back to Atlanta probably within the next 5 years. I mean, the people loved it. It was no problem. The commissioner wrote a letter to Atlanta, told them thanking you for how we did the Super Bowl. So I think they're looking at maybe bringing this back.
Yeah, they did it. Atlanta's already, from what I read, they already made a bid. They already know where the Super Bowl is going to be played on the next to 2025.
Right. Okay.
Well, they said Atlanta's already put a bid in for 2026 or 2027 because those 2 years they have a pick yet. Okay. And Atlanta did so well. They have almost said in so many words they definitely won't be another 20 years before they come back like they did this last time. Right. They did all the reviews have come back as it being great. Everything. That was one of the greatest. The NFL it's a great city, man. So impressed. We can brag about our city because hey, we have to admit, man, we got some. If you're a sports fan in Atlanta, hey man, what more can you ask for? We had the Super Bowl here this past year. We had the soccer, what is it called? MLS championship was here this year. I mean, guys, come on, man. What more can you ask for? And then just 2 years ago, and maybe not been that long, we had the college football championship here. Yeah, it was year before last, because last year Clemson won, and the year before that Alabama won with playing Georgia in the Mercedes-Benz. Man, it's just so much. That's why I feel so good about what these teams can do. Now we even talk about how good the Braves did last year, and they got a new stadium right up the road, which is still part of Atlanta. So that's why not only am I excited about what the Falcons can do, as this conversation started out, I'm excited about what Atlanta can bring to what these professional teams and sports can be and will be in this city. Yes. I believe if Arthur Blank, that's why I go back to the Falcons, if we can get the right head coach in here that will be consistent, the head coaches, the coaching staff is going to change. They're going to be getting job offers. You can't stop that. But you got to be consistent with your philosophy and what your approach is. And I thought Dan Quinn brought a great approach in when he said, brotherhood, we tough, we do this. We just got to get back to, I believe, the Falcons, the Hawks, Braves. I believe we're on the way, baby. We are on the way. And don't forget the Atlanta United. They played a game. We are on the way. There you go. We are on the way. Their first exhibition game. I think the season starts next week. So I mean, it's a lot going on, folks. It's not like we bragging, but hey, look, we got a great city here in Atlanta. We got a great city. And we just have to tell you about it, and we're excited about our Falcons, and we look for big things. How you say it, big things popping, So you guys just hang in there with us in the Falcons. Hey, big time. It's been a long show, Bob.
It's been a long show, dog. We went over what we normally do, but guess what? It was worth it. I enjoyed every minute of it, and I'm gonna let you tell the people. You want me to go first, or I'm gonna give you the opportunity? What you want to do?
Well, I just said as I said before. I'm excited. I look forward to what's coming. Keep the faith, everybody. Hang in there. We're going to get better in all areas of our sports in this city, particularly with the Falcons. We are going to get there.
That's all you got to say, man? That's all you got to say? Uh-oh. Well, first of all, I want to take my hat off to you, Big Time. I appreciate you, brother. Big Time is my host, my only co-host. And, a lot of times I don't even do the show if Big Time's not available. He's a hard-working man, but I appreciate it, his honesty. And sometimes we get a little heated and we kind of go soft. But, hey, I think it was a pretty good show tonight. Second of all, I want to mention this about the Falcons. Hey, listen, we don't know what's going to happen. We know that if we knew what was going to happen, I'd probably be in Vegas laying down a whole lot of bets right now. But with the changes they're making, with the new offensive coordinators, the new coaches that they're bringing in, hey, again I say it's a safe move. But then again, I hope it's a move that's going to attract some wins for the Falcons. I like Dan Quinn as a head coach. I like Matt Ryan as a quarterback. I have my difference with Matt Ryan sometimes, but I think that he can get the job done. He did it when Shanahan was here. I think with the right offensive coordinator, I think he's going to make it happen. I like Julio Jones. But hey, look, it's a team, folks. I'm not a one-person man. I'm not a one-man band. It takes all 11 men on the field at one time to get the job done. So if Matt Ryan's doing bad, Julio's doing bad, or the whole team's doing bad. So we can't just pick one out. We can give our opinion on it, but hey, look, we got to win as a team. We got to win as a team. And I'm going to stay with that. Now, like Big Time said, those Hawks. Keep your eyes on the Hawks, folks. They're not going to make the playoff this year. I don't think they'll make the playoff this year. But those guys are up and coming. And I like that. My thing I always say every year, hey, preparation and conditioning. We're going to get better. You either get better or you get worse. And these guys are getting better every year. Matter of fact, these guys are getting better as the season go on. So watch the Hawks. Watch Trey Young. Let's see what they're going to do with upcoming. What they're going to do in the draft. How they're going to look. Atlanta United. They just started up. They won their first game. I think it was a preseason game or some type of tournament they played in. The season starts next week. I'll look for big things with Atlanta United. The Braves. Season they're in training camp right now. It's coming. We'll see what's going to happen with that in the future. I love my city. I love Atlanta. I'm an Atlanta fan. I'm not born and bred like Big Time. But hey, yeah, that's what. What do you call it, Big Time, when you're not born and bred? I'm here. I'm here. I love it. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. The mic is hot. Let me remind you guys where you can catch the show. Let me remind you. iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, iTunes, Facebook, Twitter. And also you can email us at the mic is hot. THEMIKEIS hot at micishot@yahoo.com or call me personally 678-900-9840. I'm not gonna tell you to call Big Time because he'll be as a man. We love you, folks. We up out of here. Big Time.
Yes.
I appreciate you, brother.
All right, man.
As usual.
Have a good evening.
Have a good night.
All right.